And go.
Welcome to the Hatchet House in Washington for Hatchet Basketball on Memories 107.9 and worldwide at WAMW, I'm Dwayne Shake with Kyle Cornelius as we get set for this varsity tip-off tonight. The oldest rivalry in the state renewed once again as the Washington Hatchets at 11-5, 3-1 in the Big 8 Conference get set to do battle with the Vincennes Link Analysis. Vincennes comes in with a mark of 8-10. They are an even 2-2 in conference play. This is the Hatchet pregame show brought to you by Boyd & Sons Machinery, proud to support the Washington Hatchets. Well, the Hatchets coming off a very, very tough loss in their last outing Saturday night. Heartbreaking three-pointer at the buzzer. Washington falls 71-70 to the Southridge Raiders. I'll tell you, for my money, Colson Montgomery is one of the finest shooters I've ever seen in high school basketball. And this guy, for those that don't know, is actually a baseball player who is planning to play baseball at the collegiate level. So, man, oh man, he's just a talented athlete all the way around. And you knew the ball was going to Montgomery as Kyle Cornelius joins me alongside. Kyle, you missed a barn burner, and doggone it, we came short in the losing end. We were up with a minute left to play.
Why'd you let that go away? Why'd you let it go away?
Do you think I wasn't doing all I could do up here, Kyle?
I'm telling you, if I would have been here,
Kyle
would
would
have
have
got us
suited up.
through, right?
He would have suited up.
I
Now,
hate that. It was a great game, though.
for those that don't know Kyle Cornelius, I went to school with Kyle. He was a year ahead of me, and
Are
let it
saying
be
I'm
said,
old? I'm older.
you're a tad bit older, but
Sorry.
I didn't want to point that out, but you did. So, let it be said, Kyle Cornelius could shoot the rock back in the day. He was a three-point shooter himself, known to hit a couple here and there. Is that right, Kyle?
Well, don't leave me open. Just don't leave me open.
Well, that was the case with Colson Montgomery and the Southridge Raiders. You could not leave him open. Here's the worst part about that story, Kyle. He's just a sophomore. We got 2 more years to see this guy. So,
Nice player, no doubt about it.
And you know, give the credit to Coach Rohr and the Southridge Raiders. They played hard. They stuck with the game plan. With a minute left and a comfortable 10-point lead, you thought you were okay. They shot lights out, and Coach Miller mentioned that in a pregame interview. You know, we had a couple of mental mistakes, but let's not take away the fact that they could not miss throwing up the basketball, and that plays a big factor in it as well.
I mean, give them credit. They got to make shots. I mean, when it comes down to it, you got to make shots, and they did. Give them credit. They won the ball game. Hopefully, in March, when it really matters, it'll be a different story. And that's what you hope for.
And, you know, that's what Coach alluded to in the pregame as well. That's what gets you better come tournament time. You know, games like that, you cannot recreate that scenario during practice. So that's why we play the regular season, to prepare for tournament time. And, again, the Hatchets had 5 players in double figures, Kyle, 70 points on the scoreboard. It was just one short of winning that ball game as Southridge got the victory. But you can't fault the team's effort. Again, that last minute was just the crucial downfall, and Southridge got the win. Hatchets come in at 11-5 tonight, while the Vincennes Alice's come in at 8-10. 2 Hall of Fame coaches down there talking right now, Kyle. Gene Miller for the Washington Hatchets, Steve Brett for the Vincennes Link Analysis. That's 2 of the finest in basketball right there.
Been around for years, and both of them great coaches. Know the game, instill it in their players. And tonight's going to be a barn burner. I mean, Washington is still in the fight for the Big 8 Conference, but they're going to have to win tonight to make a chance. You know, you got Jasper and Princeton, I think, to battle it out.
Yeah, we need Princeton to help us out with that one. If Princeton can pull one away from Jasper, that will make a big difference. And we still have Mount Carmel to play to wrap up our conference season. So it's still anybody's game. Let's talk numbers for a moment. Gene Miller, 44 years high school basketball coaching, 692 wins, 329 losses. He's been with Washington for 14 years, with an overall record of 224 wins, 101 losses. For Coach Steve Brett, he's been at it 38 years now, 476 wins, 387 losses. also again inducted into the Hall of Fame within the last 2 years. Coach Brett was an assistant to Josh Thompson, who was head of the program last year. Of course, we know where Coach Thompson went. He went on to lead the Bari Vikings this season, and Coach Brett stepped up to take over the head coaching duties again. And I know Vincennes was glad to hand over the duties to the Hall of Famer.
When you got two guys like that, you can't go wrong. They know the game. They know what it takes to win. They're going to instill that in their players. Congratulations to both guys. Anytime you coach in the state of Indiana and compile the type of stats that both of these guys have competed and compiled against, it's kudos to them. As we know, this is the best state of basketball. And those guys have been around for years. They've seen the ups, the downs, paid their dues, all those things. And just a great job by both those guys. And tonight, we're going to look at a battle, the oldest rivalry in the state with Vincennes and Washington. It's going to be a battle tonight, no matter how you look at it. We just hope that our Hatchets come through with a victory.
Well, tonight again, the Hatchets come in with a record of 11-5, Vincennes 8-10, and again, it's going to be a good one. There is no question about it. I really like where the Hatchets are at right now. Again, throw out that tough loss to Southridge last week. Hatchets really rolling. I think they'll get back on the winning track tonight. They know what this game means to Washington fans. And, of course, Vincennes Lincoln has something to say about that on our home floor tonight. We will, again, see what happens. We're about 10 minutes away from tipping off this varsity game. In the JV game, the Hatchets had their way as they won the preliminary contest 68-40. So certainly the varsity hopes to follow suit. And this is one of two matchups between Washington and Vincennes this week. Coming up tomorrow night, we're going to their home floor, Alice Arena, where the Washington Lady Hatchets will compete in the semifinals of the 3A girls basketball sectional, taking on the Vincennes Lady Alices. And Coach Connor and the Lady Alices certainly have a little bit of revenge in mind, as Washington did beat the Lady Alices in the regular season in overtime. So you bet there's going to be a barn burner to Alice Arena tomorrow. That's game one of the 3A sectional semifinals. We will have that for you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock tip-off, 5:45 airtime here on your home for the Hatchets, Memories 107.9. Stick around for a good one tonight. It's the Hatchets and the Vincennes Alices. Boys basketball on your Thursday during girls sectional week. And we've got the starting lineups and the opening tip coming up after this 2-minute timeout on your home for the Hatchets, WAMW. Hatchet House. Again, we're about 5 minutes away from tip-off tonight in this oldest rivalry in the state, the Washington Hatchets and the Vincennes Lincoln Alices. The Hatchets on the home court tonight in the white. Vincennes Lincoln will be in the away uniforms trimmed in green. It is also the Davies County YMCA recognition night for the youth basketball program. 210 kids playing basketball for the YMCA. These are future Hatchets. That's where it all starts. And tonight they will present the Sportsmanship Award for the YMCA youth basketball program coming up during halftime. So we see several young future Hatchets walking around on the court as well, or around the gym here tonight. Our pregame coverage continues. Tonight's game brought to you by the Prescription Shop, your hometown pharmacy on State Street in Washington. Kyle, let's go to the Prescription for Success from the Prescription Shop in Washington. Give us a key to Hatchet victory.
We're going to have to control both ends of the floor, both defensively and offensively. Take care of the basketball, get some good shots, limit Vincennes to their second and third opportunities. Take care of the basketball. All those little things it takes to win the basketball game, Washington's going to have to do tonight. And I think they're very capable of doing that, as we will see as the night progresses. But Washington's going to have to get this victory if they're going to want to be in the conference.
The hunt for the title, you're right.
Sure.
Because, again, we need some help from Princeton. If they can take out Jasper, Washington is guaranteed at least a piece of the conference. Of course, they have Mount Carmel still to face before they wrap up the regular season. Height-wise, we've got Hunter Killian underneath listed at 6'7", the tallest player for Vincennes Lincoln, 6'4", so we may be able to capitalize on our height advantage tonight, too. Let's feed it into the big man and see what they do against that.
I'll take Killian all night. I mean, he's really, in the second half of the season, become a mainstay for the Washington Hatchets. We got to use him to our full advantage, and Vincennes should have a tough time with him in the post.
Starting lineups tonight brought to you by Boyd Grain in Washington. Boyd Grain always there to support the Washington Hatchets. For the visitors from Vincennes, at one guard, a 5'10" junior, number 11, Brody Ruggles. At the other guard, a 6' junior, number 14, Torrance Gillis. At forward, number 22, 6'2", senior, Hunter Hopwood. The other forward is a 6'4", senior, number 23, Isaac Lane. And working the middle for Vincennes, 6'3", sophomore, number 33, Ethan Bushy. Vincennes 8-10 under first-year head coach Steve Brett. One of the things that Coach Miller mentioned, Kyle, in his pregame interview, Hopwood and Lane, the two forwards, the two post players underneath. Got to contain those guys. They can put up some points. We've got to watch them.
Got to take care of the post position. Defensively, on the boards, they're going to be after it, but I like our chances with our players that we have and Washington and the officials tonight. I like our chances.
For the Washington Hatchets, we have Tyson Wright at guard, a 6' senior. Grant Niehaus at guard, a 6'2" junior. Forward, 6'5" sophomore Trey Reed. Forward, 6'4" senior Bryce Browning. And in the middle for the Washington Hatchets, a 6'7" senior Hunter Killian. The Hatchets under head coach Gene Miller, 11-5 coming into the matchup, 3-1 in the Big 8 Conference. Again, Vincennes 2-2 heading into tonight's showdown in conference play. We'll take another 1-minute timeout, and when we come back, the opening tip from the Hatchet House. You're listening to Hatchet Basketball on WAMW. We're ready for Hatchet basketball tonight. I love this matchup, Kyle. This is always a great game and a good showdown. It's the Washington Hatchets and Vincennes Alice's on the Hatchet House floor tonight. Both teams have been introduced. We're ready to tip it off. Tonight's game coverage brought to you by your neighborhood Chuckles convenience stores. Brighten up your day with a trip to Chuckles by Thompson Insurance, treating you the way you want to be treated. And by the Washington Chrysler Center, your 5-star dealer in downtown Washington. Ram Truck Month going on at Washington Chrysler Center. Huge savings on Ram trucks. Take your test drive and take one home from the Washington Chrysler Center. The opening tip controlled by the Vincennes Alice's. We're underway. Brody Ruggles hands off to Ethan Bushy. Now it goes to Isaac Lane. Lane works it to Gillis. Gillis top of the key to Hopwood. The Alice's very patient in the opening possession, trying to feel out this Hatchet defense. Pitch and catch around the outer perimeter. Lane feeds it over to Ruggles. Ruggles near side, kicks it back out. Gillis has it. To Hopwood. Now Ruggles. Man-to-man defense to start it off for the Hatchets here tonight against Vincennes. And they're doing a nice job so far. Gillis finds a little room, drives to the hoop, and he lays it in for two. Torrance Gillis with the first points tonight. Vincennes 2. Hatchets with their first chance. Here's Tyson Wright. Quick shot, no good. Rebound Hunter Killian. Killian puts it back up and in, and we're all tied at 2 apiece. Kyle, that's what I said. I don't see a matchup for Hunter Killian down there, do you?
I don't either. I mean, great job by him.
He skied up and grabbed that board, no challenge, and put it back to even the score at 2-all. Minute and a half gone in the opening period here at the Hatchet House. Lane hands off to Gillis. Top of the key, Gillis works it to Ruggles. Ruggles feeds it over to Isaac Lane. Lane lost the handle. Loose ball, turnover. Hatchets come up with it. Coast to coast. There's Trey Reed. No contact, no foul. And the ball back to Vincennes. There's Ruggles taking it all the way in. His runner's off the mark. Killian gets the board. And pushing it up the floor, Tyson Wright hands off to Browning. Browning finds Grant Niehaus wide open underneath, and he'll lay it in for 2. Hatchets 4, Vincennes 2.
Great job by the Hatchets.
That was an excellent feed from Browning underneath to Niehaus, who was all alone there. 5:40 to go first quarter. 4-2 our score. Washington by a bucket. The Alice's with the ball. Bushy now has it. Bushy over to Ruggles. He sets for 3 and he drains it. Brody Ruggles, the 5'10 junior, gets in the scoring column, and he puts Vincennes up by 1, 5-4 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. Niehaus, lob into Killian. Killian double teamed and fouled. A little slap foul called. That's going to go against Isaac Lane, his first, team first. Out of bounds for Washington, underneath their bucket. Tonight's game presented by A&R Home Center. More than just a hardware store. A&R Home Center. Niehaus, baseline, gets it into Browning. Browning over to Wright. Now it's back to Niehaus. Grant feeds it to Trey Reed. Trey up and in for 2. Good move by Reed, the sophomore, and he puts Washington back up 6-5.
Great move by him on the baseline, taking it strong to the basket.
4:45 to go in this opening period. Bushy over to Isaac Lane. Lane holds it at the volleyball line. Now gets it to Gillis. Gillis one-on-one against Niehaus. Feeds it to Hopwood. Hopwood to Ruggles. In between the circles. Ruggles over to Bushy. Boy, on offense, Kyle, Vincennes really kind of just standing at the moment, aren't they?
Very patient, just throwing the ball around. Not really looking to do a whole lot.
There's a nice spin move there by Bushy, but he's rejected. The ball knocked loose out of bounds. Last touch by the Hatchet. So
great job by Browning blocking that shot out of bounds.
It remains with Vincennes. Baseline underneath their bucket. Ruggles triggers it into Bushy, Ethan Bushy. Almost had it picked there by Browning. Browning knocked it loose. It'll stay with the Alice's.
Browning, he's active. doing a nice job.
He saw Bushy there having a little trouble with the dribble and saw an opening and knocked it loose and out of play. So the Alice's maintain possession halfway through this first quarter. It's Washington 6, Vincennes 5. Big 8 Conference basketball on WAMW. We welcome our viewers on YouTube as well at WHSH TV tonight. Hopwood almost lost it. Hands off to Ruggles. Ruggles back to Hopwood. He's going to drive baseline now. Kicks it over to Bushy. Out to Lane. Isaac Lane for three. It's short. And the rebound controlled by Tyson Wright. Wright tried the outlet pass to Niehaus. Denied there by Lane. And it's going to stay with Vincennes. Shot is up and in. And a chance for a three-point play now for the Alice's. First foul whistled against the Hatchets. It's going to go against Bryce Browning. That's his first and the team's first. And at the line to try and complete the three-point play is Ethan Bushy, 6'3" sophomore. Bushy worked free there and got the shot to fall. Connects on the free throw, and he puts the Alice's up by 2 now. 8-6 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. 3:20 left in the opening quarter. Vincennes leads by a basket. Hunter Killian.
That's weak.
Charge is the call against Killian as Bushy sold that one well and gets the call.
He did. My buddy Brad Dishman on the call. I'm not going to agree with Brad this time. I'll send him a text about it later. As a kind of a flop in the box. Don't believe Hunter really pushed him that much.
Vincennes gets the foul, and they get the ball back now. Bushy has it, hands off to Hopwood. There's Ruggles. He cuts to the hoop, and Ruggles with the runner gets 2 more. He's got 5. Now Vincennes up by 4, 10-6 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. Just under 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. Niehaus over to Browning. Browning for 3. Bryce short. Ruggles gets the rebound, and now Browning bumped him for his second foul. Didn't need that one right now, Bryce. That's 2 on him. We need him in the lineup, but he's going to have to sit down.
We need him in the game as Hardeman's going to check in for him. Going to pick up his second foul here in the the first quarter. Just 2:41 left to go. Bryce, we may not see him the rest of the half.
Julius Hardeman into the lineup now. The sophomore checks in for the senior Browning with 2.5 left to play in the opening quarter. 10-6 in favor of Vincennes, and the Alice's have the ball. Bushy over to Hopwood, now to Lane. Isaac Lane one-on-one against Hardeman. Gets it to Gillis. Gillis back to Ruggles, and Ruggles' three-point attempt is short. Trey Reed gets the board, and here comes the Hatchets. Hardeman fouled on the floor. It'll be out of bounds for the Hatchets. They are calling a tight game tonight. 2 fouls against Vincennes, 3 against the Hatchets in 6 minutes of play. That foul going against Gillis, his first. Hatchet's baseline, get it into Tyson Wright. Tyson drives, pulls up, shoots. Oh!
Nice shot.
Missed. Yeah, he had to take that. Just couldn't get it to fall. Rebound to the Alice's. Ruggles goes coast to coast. High shot off the glass. And how about that friendly roll for Ruggles? That thing stayed on the rim forever, but he got it to fall. Somebody blew on that, I think. Had to be an Alice fan as it went through the rim. 12-6 Vincennes. Grant Niehaus too strong on his shot attempt. But on the rebound, 2 Vincennes Alice's struggle to fight for it, and they both knock it out of bounds. So the Hatchets get a break, and they maintain possession. Niehaus, baseline underneath. Gets it into Reed. Trey Reed looking for some help, hands it off to Tyson Wright. We've got 1.5 minutes left in this first quarter. It's Vincennes 12, Washington 6. Wright kicks it out to Niehaus, over to Hardeman. Julius to Trey, now back to Tyson Wright, and now Trey has it. Good ball movement by the Hatchets, waiting for a good look here. They lob it into Hunter Killian. Hunter draws the double team. Nothing there, has to pull it back out. He'll hand off to Niehaus. Niehaus shook his defender. Oh, but he missed the lay-in.
Nice move by Grant,
Boy,
just
that was
didn't finish.
beautiful. Just couldn't get the finish, and the Alice's get it back under a minute to play. Vincennes with the ball and a 6-point lead, 12-6 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. We may see Vincennes try to run some clock here. Ethan Bushy over to Isaac Lane and now to Ruggles, and yep, exactly what we thought. Ruggles all the way out to the center circle. Now to Gillis. Pitch and catch for Vincennes as the Hatchets try to get the ball as Vincennes plays keep away with 20 seconds left to go. They're going to get the last shot, it appears, Kyle. Ruggles with 10 seconds left. Now he makes his move, and he's bailed out as he puts the shot up, gets the bump foul. Going against Tyson Wright. That's the 4th foul of the Hatchets in this first quarter. That's going to send Ruggles to the line to shoot 2 free ones. With 9 seconds left to go in the first quarter. First free throw from Ruggles is no good. Brody Ruggles, 5'10 junior, 7 points so far tonight. He's the floor general, the leader for these Alices. His second attempt is up, and it's no good. And the rebound controlled by Trey Reed. Washington has time to get a shot. We'll see what they do here. Tyson Wright is fouled, and now Tyson's going to shoot a pair of free throws on this end. Coach Brett didn't like that call with 1.9 seconds remaining.
I thought it was a good call.
Tyson Wright shooting 2. The Hatchet senior. First free toss is good. Tyson Wright in the scoring column. That's his first point tonight. Our game coverage brought to you by Bill Dobson Ford. A Dobson deal is a better deal at Bill Dobson Ford. And by WTHI TV10. Coverage you can count on at News 10. Both free throws count for Tyson. Makes it 12-8. And there's a half-court shot at the buzzer. No good. We've played 8 minutes of basketball here at the Hatchet House on the A&R Home Center scoreboard after 1. It's the Vincennes Alice's 12, the Washington Hatchets 8. A fast-paced first quarter. We're ready for second quarter action. On the A&R Home Center scoreboard, the Vincennes Alices have the advantage 12-8. Dwayne Shake with Kyle Cornelius from the Hatchet House. Thanks for joining us here on WAM WFM Washington. Washington starts with the ball to begin the second period. Tyson Wright hands off to Julius Hardiman. Julius top of the key to Trey Reed. Now far side in to Hunter Killian. Killian lost the handle, and that's a Hatchet turnover. Vincennes with some good pressure there, gets the steal. Ruggles feeds it to Isaac Lane. Lane over to Hopwood. Now it goes to Gillis, to Bushy, and back to Ruggles. Well, the Alices do move the ball well. Starting 5 have played this entire game so far. Got a minute gone in this second quarter. Vincennes with a 4-point lead, 12-8. Ruggles to Gillis. Now to Hopwood. Still man-to-man pressure by the Hatchets. Isaac Lane has it. He hands to Ruggles. Now Bushy. This may be a low-scoring affair at this rate, Kyle.
Pretty boring.
The Alice is just pitch and catch right now. As almost a steal there. Alice is maintained. Ruggles puts his head down and travels with it. And that's a turnover for Vincennes. It's going back to the Hatchets. Tonight's game brought to you by your Edward Jones financial advisors, Sarah Browning, Doug Bubalo, and Scott Cordova. Also by the Donaldson Insurance Agency with Donaldson's your number one. 6:25 to go. Still 12-8. Vincennes by 4. Hunter Killian, top of the key, hands it to Tyson Wright. Tyson drives in the paint, gets the runner off the glass, and he has his first field goal. 4 points for Tyson.
Great drive by Tyson.
2-point ball game now, 12-10 in favor of the Alices. Ruggles dribbles into trouble, needs help. He gets it out to Gillis. Now they kick it over to Hopwood. Hopwood to Isaac Lane. Lane to Gillis. Gillis, strong move. He can't get it, but he is fouled. Now Gillis is going to shoot 2 free ones on the Vincennes side of things.
Really think the Hatchets, looking at the first quarter and not quite a half, are the better team for the two teams tonight, but Vincennes very patient on offense. Free throws up and good.
First free throw good for Gillis. One more coming up. Once again, we welcome you on the radio at WAMW, and we welcome our viewers on the YouTube channel at WHSH tonight. Good crowd enjoying this big rivalry with Washington and Vincennes. 1 for 2 at the line for Gillis. The Alices now lead by 3, 13-10. Washington with the ball back. 5:40 to play, first half. Tyson Wright over to Niehaus, Grant Niehaus to Hardiman. Now it goes to Trey Reed, far side. Back to Wright. Here's a shot by Tyson, too strong on the rebound over the back against Hunter Killian. His first foul, and we'll give it to Vincennes. That is the second foul on Hunter Killian. So the two seniors, Hunter Killian and Bryce Browning, each with 2 fouls in this first half, and 5:23 left to play.
Like to see Washington picking up full court. I really like that with this team.
Knocked out of bounds. Vincennes maintains possession.
As I think they can create some havoc with that full court pressure.
They get it into Hopwood. Hopwood gets it across the timeline and will hand off to Gillis. Gillis between the circles. One-on-one with Grant Niehaus. He'll feed it to Ethan Bushy. Bushy over to Brody Ruggles. 5 minutes left, first half. Isaac Lane traveled with it, and the ball going back to Washington.
Great job by the Hatchets. Defense creating another turnover.
Yep, good job by the Hatchet D as Hunter Killian sets down with 2 fouls now, and coming into the lineup is the junior Kyle Mann.
Come on, Washington. Let's go.
Kyle Mann, Julius Hardiman, Trey Reed, Tyson Wright, Grant Niehaus, your 5 on the floor for the Hatchets. Same starting 5 remain on the floor for Vincennes. Trey, spin move in the paint, works free, didn't get it. Rebound, Kyle Mann, and his putback is good. Kyle Mann quickly in there and gets in the scoring column. 13-12 now, Vincennes by 1, and a timeout for Coach Brett and the Alices. 4:29 to go, first half of play here at the Hatchet House on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. It's Vincennes 13, Washington 12. We'll be back. Coming up, we'll recognize the future Hatchets with the YMCA Youth Basketball Program. Lots of young future Hatchets here to watch this game tonight. Full court pressure again by Washington as Vincennes tries to get it in, and it's taken away. There's the steal, and there's the lay-in by Trey Reed.
Great effort by the Hatchets.
Reed has 4. Hatchets regain the lead, 14-13, and now a bump foul called against Tyson Wright.
Dishman.
I tell you, it's a tight game. They've called a tight game all night tonight.
I'm going to have to send him a message.
10 fouls whistled in this first half. 7 for Washington, 3 against Vincennes.
Coach Miller talking over with Mr. Dishman.
1 and a bonus for Brody Riggles.
Coach Miller and I not buying that foul.
5'10 junior. He's got 7 points so far tonight. 0 for 2 at the line, though. Ruggles with the 1 and bonus. He does get that one, so we'll give him the bonus. All tied at 14 with 4:15 to go in this first half. Tonight's game brought to you by the Donaldson Insurance Agency. With Donaldson's your number 1. And Freddie Energy, fueling your everyday life. Both free throws good for Ruggles. Vincennes regains the lead, 15-14.
Great game so far, Dwayne.
Kyle Mann right to the basket for 2 more. How about that?
Nice job by Mann.
Mann saw the opening and he took it.
Washington in their full court press. I like it.
16-15 now. Washington back up by 1. And there is a nice open look for Isaac Lane as he'll lay it in and get his first points tonight, 17-16. Lane, one of those seniors on this Vincennes squad. There's Niehaus with the runner, can't get it. Rebound controlled by Lane and the Alices. So far, Lane and Hopwood real quiet tonight. Those 2 seniors underneath the post positions. 2 for Lane, Hopwood scoreless. 17-16. Vincennes by 1. They have the basketball. We're approaching 3 minutes left in this first half. Shot up by Ruggles, and he gets 2 more. Ruggles has been the highlight for the Alices tonight. He's got 11 points in this first half. Puts his team up by 3, 19-16. Tyson Wright in front of the Vincennes bench. Kicks it over to Kyle Mann. Kyle to Trey Reed. Reed, yes, Trey Reed. Right at the wing, he connects for 2 more. Trey's got 6, and it's 19-18. Love seeing that shot from the sophomore.
Sure do. Like to see him be aggressive.
Ethan Bushy. Now Hopwood has it. Hopwood to Isaac Lane. Hopwood over to Ruggles. Ruggles feeds it out to Gillis, and Gillis hits the 3. Torrance Gillis, his first 3-pointer tonight. 6 overall for Gillis, the junior. And he puts Vincennes up by 4, 22-18. There's Tyson Wright with the drive and 2 more, 22-20. I'm with you, Kyle. I think Washington is the better team right now, but we're keeping Vincennes right in there.
I think we're going to be okay.
Under 2 minutes to play, first half. And a traveling called against Ruggles.
Great job by the Hatchets.
That's the 3rd traveling call and turnover for Vincennes tonight.
I know Vincennes has a 2-point lead at this point, but the momentum seems to be going the Hatchets' way.
First sub of the night, Evan Combs checking in for Vincennes, a 5'11 senior. He'll give Ruggles a breather. Also, Kiowa Jones now in the lineup for Washington. Top of the key, Hardiman. Now Kiowa Jones, far side.
Taking.
Jones. Nope. Rebound, fought for it, loose, and into the hands of the Alices. Hopwood comes up with it, kicks it out to Evan Combs. Combs now directing traffic. And he hands it to Hopwood. Hopwood out to Isaac Lane, over to Combs, now in the corner. Gillis thought about the 3. Swings it back out to Lane. Minute 10 left in this first half. Vincennes 22, Washington 20. Gillis. Bushy. Over to Hopwood. Back to Bushy. Now it goes to Combs. The Alices running the clock with a 2-point lead. Tipped by Hardiman. Lane chases it down. Vincennes still maintaining possession. with 30 seconds left. Ball, boy, the sticky defense really giving Vincennes trouble, but they're hanging on to the basketball.
Somehow, some way, Washington doing a nice job.
Combs. Now it goes to Isaac Lane. 15 seconds left. Vincennes will have to make their move. They have 10 seconds remaining. Hopwood picked by Kiowa Jones. Jones chases down the loose ball. Hands it off to Tyson Wright. Tyson Wright puts it in, and that's the buzzer. That will do it for the first half of play. We played one half of basketball here at the Hatchet House on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. It's Washington 22, Vincennes Lincoln 22. All tied up. The halftime show coming your way after this 2-minute timeout on WAMW.
You're clear.
It's halftime at the Hatchet House on the A&R Home Center scoreboard after one half of play. We're all tied up. The Washington Hatchets 22, the Vincennes Alice's 22. Halftime scoring for Washington, leading the way with 8 points, Tyson Wright. Trey Reed, the sophomore, chipped in 6. 4 points for Kyle Mann off the bench. 2 points for Grant Niehaus and 2 for Hunter Killian. 8 for Tyson Wright, 6 for Trey Reed, 4 for Kyle Mann, 2 for Grant Niehaus, and 2 for Hunter Killian. For Vincennes, they're led by Brody Ruggles, the junior, had 11, the only player in double figures. 11 for Brody Ruggles. Then it was 6 for Torrance Gillis, 3 points for Ethan Bushy, and 2 for Isaac Lane. 11 for Ruggles, 6 for Gillis, 3 for Bushy, and 2 for Isaac Lane. Washington trailed 12-8 at the end of the first quarter, but we're all tied up at halftime, 22-22. Kyle Cornelius, first half team stats.
Vincennes is 6 out of 6 from 2-point range for 100%. Just 1 out of 3 from 3 for 17%. 2 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds. They are 4 out of 7 from the foul line. 57%, 6 turnovers as a team. Your Hatchets 9 out of 17 from 2 for 53%. Just 1 out of 3 from 3, 33%. 2 offensive rebounds, 15 defensive. 2 out of 3 from the foul line for 67%. And they had 4 first half turnovers as a team, as Washington and the Lincoln Alices No difference from the beginning of the game, tied 22-22 with 16 minutes left to play in the game.
We got a good crowd on hand tonight for this oldest rivalry in the state. Hatchet fans filling the crowd nicely. Vincennes, of course, with a short drive, also with some good support off to our left in the green and white. As we said during the halftime ceremonies here, we have the future Hatchets being recognized, the YMCA youth basketball program, and hats off to all of those volunteer coaches who put the time in to teach these youngsters the game of basketball, and to all of those future Hatchets, and to the Daviess County YMCA. They lead youth sports. They have the youth football program, youth basketball program. They are shaping the future varsity players for the Washington Hatchets, and it all starts here. Kyle, I remember my days of YMCA youth basketball. Had a lot of fun playing in the YMCA gym, didn't you?
I remember it being cold.
You shut the lights out, didn't
but it was lights out.
Kyle Cornelius from anywhere on the floor.
Give me in the gym.
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball. No defense in Cornelius. But I could shoot the ball.
22-22 at the half. We're all tied up. We've got another 2-minute timeout. We'll come back with more and set the scene for this second half of play from the Hatchet House after this. You're listening to Hatchet Basketball on WAMW.
Clear.
Thank you. Both teams back out on the floor now for warm-ups before we start this second half of play. Again, all tied up. We've got one half to find a winner here. It's going to be anybody's ball game tonight. Dwayne Shake along with Kyle Cornelius. Kyle, let's talk strategy. What did Coach Miller say to those Hatchets in the locker room at the half?
Man, I'll tell you what, it was just a kind of a slow half for both teams. Vincennes kind of lulling you to sleep. Got a lead, or not actually a lead, but a tie ball game, 22-22, but Washington has got to look to force the tempo here in the second half. We got to get up and down, look to push this game open. As I think, as we said before, Washington is the better of the two teams. We just got to flex our muscles here in the second half. And the first 3 minutes is going to be the most important. We'll see what happens.
Well, I think you're exactly right. We have not, I've said it all season long, the strength of this Hatchet team is their speed, and we haven't really utilized that speed in that first half. We didn't get any fast breaks, and credit Vincennes for shutting that down. But I also think another key, Kyle, is keeping that full court pressure on, because I think the pressure was really shaking up the Allisons.
I think we need to just get after it. I'm a total belief of that. Get after him, 84 feet. Get after it. Get Bryce Browning up and down the floor. Bryce, not a real big factor in that first half, picking up 2 fouls. And, you know, a lot of times we go as he goes, and I think he's capable of pushing this game open as I look for the Hatchets to try to increase the tempo in the second half for sure, as Vincennes wants a slow down game, methodical, keep it close. Washington is just itching to get out in transition and push this game open, and I hope to see that in the second half.
22-22, second half action coming up after this 1-minute timeout on WAMW. Vincennes starts with the basketball. We're ready for second half action here at the Hatchet House. All tied up 22-all. Vincennes now in the goal nearest to our vantage point from press row, left to right on your radio dial. Gillis kicks it over to Ruggles. Starting five on the floor for Vincennes. Same for Washington with the exception of Julius Hardiman. He stays in the lineup in place of Hunter Killian. Ethan Bushy kicks it to Torrance Gillis. Gillis now to Brody Ruggles. Hatchets maintain that man-to-man defense. Back to Bushy, now to Ruggles. The Alice's, again, this is the style they want, Kyle, as you mentioned there. Slowing it down. They're doing a good job at that. Low-scoring affair so far. Now Hopwood is open. He throws up the three. Missed it. Over the back, no call. The loose ball swatted into the hands of Vincennes, and then they denied it as the Hatchets come up with it. Grant Niehaus over to Tyson Wright. Wright for three. No! Put back Trey Reed. No! And out of bounds, still staying with the Hatchets. Wow. Hatchets, somebody's capped the goal down there. Trey Reed had a nice putback. Tyson Wright looked like that three was going to roll around and in. Still nothing yet. Out of bounds for Washington. Niehaus, baseline, gets it into Hardiman. Hardiman to Tyson Wright. Now over to Grant Niehaus. There's Grant.
Nice shot.
Bottoms up. He connects for only his fourth point tonight. So Niehaus has been held quiet. 24-22 with 6.5 left in the third quarter. Ruggles. Up and in for two. That's a nice shot by Ruggles. He had a hand in his face the whole time and still powered that one up off the glass and connected. So we're all tied at 24. Grant Niehaus to Bryce Browning. Browning drives. Too strong off the glass. Gets his own rebound. Put back, no good. And this time on the rebound, we got a foul whistled. I think it's against Vincennes.
Great effort by Browning. Missing his first shot, getting the offensive rebound and trying to get it back up. Going to get a foul. Washington ball underneath their own basket.
So, yep, a third chance here for the Hatchets. They get it into Bryce Browning. Browning swings it over to Trey Reed. Now to Grant Niehaus. Back to Trey. Trey. Fader is short. And the rebound controlled by Isaac Lane and the Alices. Ruggles pushing it up. We're tied at 24 now with 5:45 to go third quarter.
It's kind of been an ugly game, Dwayne.
Yep, neither team really putting the points through tonight. We had 70 points we scored in that Southridge game. Only 24 now in about, 19 minutes of play in this contest.
And this is what Vincennes wants.
Ruggles over to Isaac Lane. Lane fouled. And Isaac Lane has earned his way to the free throw line to shoot two.
As I believe Vincennes wants this slow down, methodical.
I think
tempo, as Washington would rather have the adverse action.
the Alice's definitely prefer this because I don't think if we do the run and gun they can match up. They don't have the speed Washington does. It's the first free throw for Lane is good. His first trip to the line tonight. He's got 3 points, the senior, with one more. Up and in. Isaac Lane now with 4. And the Alice is now with a 2-point lead, 26-24.
Come on, Hatchets.
Tonight's game brought to you by Myers LP Gas, Highway 57 North in Washington. Tyson Wright to Browning, and Browning tried to save it in. He does, but right into the hands of Gillis. And then the Hatchets get it back. And here's Grant Niehaus, fouled before the shot. Boy, that was a great play by Vincennes, as that's going to be out of bounds for Washington, what should have been an easy bunny.
Great hustle by both teams, really. Washington getting the turnover. Vincennes getting back, creating the foul before the shot is up.
Niehaus gets it into Hardiman. Now it goes to Tyson Wright. We're under 5 minutes now, this third quarter. Tyson at the volleyball line. Sets the offense. Wright, short. Rebound controlled by Vincennes. Lane off to the races. He kicks it out to Bushy. Now it goes to Ruggles. Ruggles, good for 2. I tell you what, Brody Ruggles, he's made some miraculous shots down here for Vincennes. Off balance, falling to the floor, and somehow finds a way to get him through the hoop. Julius Hardiman gets 2 on the other end on a feed from Bryce Browning. Hardiman with his first points.
Come on,
26.
Let's go. I agree. We're by far the better team, but just Vincennes is hanging around.
4 minutes left to go now. There's a steal by Browning. Bryce couldn't get the shot, but he's fouled, and boy, he hits the he hit the pole hard. We got to get Bryce attended to. His momentum was pushing him right into the pole there of the goal. And oh my, yeah. Bryce gets up. I think he's okay. The nice thing about it, we do have padding on those poles, but he hit hard.
He did hit hard, and great effort by him with the steal and going down coast to coast. Got a hard foul, and he did run into the support system of the goal pretty hard, but he's a tough kid.
He didn't get the shot, but he earned 2 free throws. Browning's first free throw is up and in. That's Bryce's first point tonight. Set out much of that first half with foul trouble.
I tell you, get fouled hard like that, but you're not going to come out and give up free throws to somebody else. You're going to come up and knock him down as he's
did both.
Knocked both of them down, so great job by Bryce.
Evan Combs checking in now for the Alices, replacing Ruggles, and a 5-second call against Vincennes. The ball back to Washington.
Great job. That's what I want to see.
The Alices couldn't get it in with that full court pressure by the Hatchets. So now Washington, underneath their bucket, kicks it into Tyson Wright. Browning, good for 2 more.
Great job. Give and go. Great job by the Hatchets.
30-28 now. And there is another Vincennes turnover. This is what I said, Kyle. The Hatchets have got to put out that full court pressure.
I love it.
And it's a timeout for Coach Brett and the Alices. 3:51 to play, third quarter on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. It's Washington 30, Vincennes 28. Hatchet basketball when we return after this. back at the Hatchet house, 30-28 in favor of Washington. Hatchets have the ball as play resumes. They get it in underneath to Julius Hardiman. Hardiman shot is short. He gets his own rebound, and the putback counts for the sophomore Hardiman. He's got 4, and there's another Hatchet turnover. Tyson Wright, short rebound to Evan Combs, and it's dribbled off the leg of Trey Reed.
Love it. Love the full court pressure by the Hatchets.
It'll stay with Vincennes now.
It's exactly what we needed, Dwayne.
Full court pressure continues. This time the Alice's break it. Well,
nice job by Tyson.
Swatted it out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Alice's, this time underneath their basket baseline.
Let's hope the Hatchets keep up with this full court pressure, as that's really causing havoc for the Alice's.
3.5 minutes left, third quarter. Combs gets it into Gillis. Gillis swings it over to Isaac Lane. Lane now to Bushy. Back to Combs, over to Lane. The Alice's continue to pass it around in the outer perimeter, waiting for the opening and a good look. At the 3-minute mark in this third quarter, 32-28, Washington leads by 4. Bushy to Isaac Lane. Lane to Hopwood. Now to Combs, over to Gillis. Again, Vincennes very deliberate, very patient. Running some clock, waiting for a good shot. Hatchet's working hard in that man-to-man defense. Hopwood into Lane. Lane, scoop shot up and in. That's a nice shot by Lane. Isaac Lane with his 6-point, 32-30. Bryce Browning feeds it into Trey Reed. Trey with a good move, shook the defender and couldn't get the shot, but Trey earns his way to the free throw line to shoot 2. First trip to the line for Trey Reed, the sophomore. 6 points so far tonight. Tonight's game coverage brought to you by Ace's Restaurant inside the Washington Country Club, reminding you hypnotist Chris Jones will be entertaining the crowd coming up February 9th, just a couple of weeks away. Get your tickets at Ace's Facebook page. You don't want to miss this. Chris Jones featured on America's Got Talent and several national TV shows. He'll be in Washington Saturday night, February 9th. Both free throws count for Trey Reed. 8 points for the sophomore. Washington back up by 4, 34-30. Alice's break the pressure this time. They do get it across the timeline. Gillis to Lane. Over to Combs. Combs to Lane. He shoots the 3. Too strong. There for the rebound. There's Grant Niehaus. Niehaus finds Tyson Wright. Tyson. Nope. Rebound. Bryce Browning. Up and in. No. I thought that was going and couldn't get it. This time Bushy controls for the Alice's. Both teams kind of cold from the field here in this third quarter.
I like the Hatchet's effort, though.
There's a nice cut to the basket. 2 more for Isaac Lane. He's got 6 this quarter, 8 overall. 34-32. Back to a 2-point Washington lead with 1:15 left. Third period. Bryce Browning for 3. It's going to be short. Bryce gets his own rebound. Kicks it out to Trey Reed. Now to Grant Niehaus. Grant over to Tyson Wright. Back to Niehaus. Niehaus short. Rebound batted around, and Browning gets it. Now to Trey Reed. Reed shot, no. Tip, no. And finally controlled by Isaac Lane and the Alice's.
Boy.
Had a lot of opportunities there, but couldn't get it to fall. Vincennes with a chance to tie here. 40 seconds on the clock in this third quarter. More than likely, the Alice's will hold. They've done it successfully every period so far. Gillis to Isaac Lane. 25 seconds remaining. Tonight's game brought to you by Gill Funeral Home, serving our community since 1872. And McAllister Machinery, your Caterpillar dealer in Washington. 15 seconds on the clock. Vincennes will get the last shot. Lane at the buzzer, no good. That's it for the third quarter. After 3 periods of play on the A&R Home Center scoreboard, the Washington Hatchets 34, Vincennes Alice's 32. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter action coming up in 1 minute. Back at the Hatchet House, we got 8 minutes left to find our winner. It's still up for grabs after 3 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard. Washington 34, Vincennes 32. Kyle Mann checks in for the Hatchets. It's Kyle Mann, Grant Niehaus, Trey Reed, Tyson Wright, Julius Hardiman. For Vincennes, the starting 5 back out on the floor. Gillis, Hopwood, Lane, Bushy, and Ruggles. And quickly, Grant Niehaus connects for 2. Nice little jumper just behind the free throw line. He's got 6 now. 36-32. Hatchet's up by 4. Here's a 3 by Hopwood. Around the rim, no good. Rebound controlled by Hardiman. Hardiman to Tyson Wright. Over to Niehaus. And a blocking foul called against the Alices as Niehaus drove baseline.
Great job by the Hatchets. You know, sometimes that full court press is not always wanting a turnover. Maybe a quick shot by the other team, as Lincoln did. Oh, great shot by Niehaus, by Kyle Mann.
Mann worked free, put it up. He didn't get the shot, but he did draw the foul from behind. So Kyle Mann shooting 2 free throws.
That press, not always looking for a turnover, but maybe a quick shot, as Lincoln did take a quick 3. Didn't make it. Hardiman with a rebound, and Washington on the offensive end. Kyle Mann's first free throw is up and good. So, Dwayne, not always are you looking for a turnover when you press the basketball. You're looking for just to get Lincoln out of their comfort zone.
One more free toss for Mann. It's up and in. Kyle Mann, good minutes off the bench tonight. He's got 6. And here's the full court pressure again by Washington. Alice's break it. Ruggles takes it all the way. He's denied by Hardiman. Hardiman with the rejection. Scoop pass to Trey Reed. Trey Reed missed it. Rebound out of bounds to Washington. Last touch by the Alices.
Again, just a great job by Hardiman with the denial on the offensive end for Lincoln. Great block.
Niehaus. Worked it in to Hardiman, and Hardiman lost it off his knee, out of bounds. Hatchet turnover, gives it back to Vincennes.
We'll give Washington a chance to put this full court pressure on, as Lincoln's had trouble with it.
Combs checks back in for Ruggles during the dead ball, and a blocking foul against Hardiman. Second team foul against the Hatchet, so no free throws yet for Vincennes. There's 6 fouls against the Alices in this second half, 2 against the Hatchets.
Surprised by that call, as this official is known for his offensive fouls call. He called a block. First time I've seen it in about 8 years, Dwayne.
7 minutes left to go, fourth quarter. Gillis now with it. Hands off to Hopwood. Hopwood works it over to Isaac Lane. It's Washington 38. Vincennes 32. I believe this is the Hatchet's biggest lead of the night.
It is.
It's been so close all night long. 6 points separating the teams now. Hopwood Feeds it over to Combs to Gillis. Gillis lost it out of bounds, and it's going back to the Hatchets. That's
great job by the Hatchets.
Miscommunication now, and the Alice is kind of fighting amongst themselves there.
I'm telling you, Washington doing a nice job on the defensive end. Let's get a basket.
Tyson Wright works it over to Niehaus. Grant to Trey Reed. Reed, last touch by the Alice's as it sails out of bounds. It's going to stay with Washington. Gillis sits down. Here's Kyle Mann driving to the bucket. He doesn't get it, but he does draw the foul. And Kyle Mann with 2 more free throws here in the fourth quarter. Tonight's game brought to you by Pepsi Beverages Company, the official soft drink of the Washington Hatchets. Taylor's 2 Steakhouse in Oakland City, best of the best when it comes to steak. See for yourself with a trip to Taylor's 2 Steakhouse anytime for lunch or dinner. Neil and Betty Newton would love to have you at their place. And by Goodwin Seavers Funeral Home, now serving Davies County on State Street in Washington. First free throw is good by Kyle Mann. He'll shoot 1 more. Washington 39, Vincennes 32. Second free throw is up and in. 40-32. The Hatchets build that lead to 8. And the full court pressure continuing by Washington. Isaac Lane brings it up, kicks it out to Hopwood. Hopwood missed the 3. Rebound to Hardiman and the Hatchets. 6 minutes on the clock. Grant Niehaus shoots around the rim, no good. Rebound to Ruggles. Brody Ruggles, coast to coast, lays it in and gets the foul. Brody Ruggles, the junior, has had a huge night tonight. 17 points for the junior. He has been their scorer. He's got half of their 34 now.
I agree. He's been a nice asset for the Lincoln Alices.
Free throw for Ruggles to complete the 3-point play. He got it. Ruggles is 3 for 5 at the charity stripe. He cuts that Hatchet lead to 5. 40-35 now. Wright brings it up, hands off to Niehaus. Niehaus now to Kyle Mann. Mann works it to Tyson, cutting to the hoop. He is fouled, too strong on the shot. But Tyson Wright will shoot a couple of free throws. JV game tonight earlier went to Washington. They won handedly 68-40. Varsity hoping to follow suit. That is the 8th team foul whistled against Vincennes. So Washington will shoot free throws the rest of this game. First free throw by Tyson Wright, off the mark. He's got 1 more. Gillis checks back in now, replacing Ruggles for Vincennes. The second free throw is good. Tyson 1 for 2 at the line. 3 for 4 overall. Vincennes with the ball. They get it into Bushy. Bushy is fouled. Ethan Bushy, 6'3" sophomore, shooting a pair of free throws on this end. 41-35, our score if you're just joining us. It's been back and forth all night. Hatchets trailed 12-8 after 1. We were all tied at 22 at the half. After 3, it was Washington 34, Vincennes 32. And right now with 5:24 to go in the fourth, Washington 41, the Alice's 36. Both free throws count for Ethan Bushy. He's 3 for 3 at the line, and he cuts that Hatchet lead to 4. So it's far from over. A lot of time left here tonight in this Big 8 conference battle. Kyle Mann over to Trey Reed. Reed now to Niehaus. Around the horn it goes to Tyson Wright. Tyson over to Niehaus. Washington spreading the floor a bit, running some time here, waiting for a good shot. And a foul away from the ball. Called against Vincennes. That's going to send the Hatchets to the line for a 1 and bonus. 4 fouls now against Torrance Gillis. Brody Ruggles is set to check back in. At the line, shooting the one and bonus is Tyson Wright, and he hits the first one.
Attaboy Tyson.
One more free toss. Actually, Ruggles checks in for Evan Combs. So Gillis is going to stay in there with the 4 fouls. Second free throw from Wright is good. He hit them both. 43-37. Hatchet's back up by 6. There's a steal by Trey Reed as Vincennes tries the baseball pass, unsuccessful.
I'm telling you, this full court press has made a difference for the Hatchets.
Yes, it has.
I like it.
Really creating a lot of turnovers.
Great job by Reed there.
Vincennes just doesn't have the answer for it right now. Bryce Browning back in the lineup. Feeds it into Trey Reed. Trey kicks it back out to Tyson Wright. Over now to Browning. Now Niehaus. Driving. Gets it. Nice shot. And Grant with a chance for the three-point play at the line.
Love it. Great job by the Hatchets. Good offense. Move the basketball side to side. Grant Niehaus on the reversal pass, driving at baseline. Strong take to the basket.
Niehaus has 8 with a free throw coming. And it's good. Make it 9 points
And
for
one.
the junior.
Love it. Great job by Niehaus.
46-37. A little breakdown in defense as Ethan Bushy was all alone, and he laid it in for 2. Makes it 46-39, and a timeout for Coach Brett and the Vincennes Alices. 30-second timeout. We'll take 30 seconds and be back to the Hatchet House right after this on WAMW. Kyle Cornelius, 4 minutes left to find our winner right now. The Hatchets in control, leading on the A&R Home Center scoreboard, 46-39.
Washington's played a nice game here in the second half, pushing this lead to 7.
Tonight's game brought to you by the Edley Mortuary, caring for you when you need the care the most. Niehaus hands it to Kyle Mann. Now it goes to Bryce Browning. Back to Niehaus. Over now to Browning. To Mann. Here's Niehaus. Trey Reed. Washington running some time. Very patient, deliberate here. Waiting for a good look. Browning cuts, takes it to the hoop, and he'll lay it in for 2.
Good finish.
Bryce Browning, 6 points tonight. 48-39. Back to a 9-point Hatchet lead. As Gillis was picked by Tyson Wright.
I thought it looked good. Mr. Slavin, the official.
He's whistled for the foul. It'll be out of bounds for Vincennes. No bonus yet for the Alices.
I liked it.
Third foul on Tyson Wright.
Of course, I'm a homer.
Maybe a little bit, right?
Love my Hatchets. Hatchets really have done a nice job here in the second half, pushing this lead open. 9 points here to go with 3 minutes to go.
Ruggles over to Gillis. Long 3 by Gillis. No good. There's Trey Reed with the board. Trey's had a good night tonight. He has 8 points. Lots of rebounds, too, for the sophomore. 2:45 left to go. Still 48-39 in favor of Washington. There's Trey all alone.
Nice.
And he'll lay it in for 2. There's the double digits for Trey Reed. 10 points. Steal by Bryce Browning, and he'll lay it in for 2. Bryce Browning with 8. Washington starting to pull away now. Full court pressure. Again, wreaking havoc on Vincennes. There's another steal. as Tyson Wright hands it off to Bryce Browning, and Bryce gets 2 more.
Put it on them, boys.
54-39, and a pick by Kyle Mann almost as he sailed out of bounds.
Hey, you got to love the effort.
Yes,
Come on,
you
Dwayne,
do.
get up.
You do. You absolutely do.
Love the effort. Great effort.
Washington starting to pull away. 54-39. Biggest lead of the night now for the Hatchets. There's a foul called against Washington.
It's all right.
2 free throws coming for Ruggles.
Hey, I just love the effort. I mean, you know, my Hoosiers, they're not giving the 4th effort, but my Hatchets, love them.
You had to mention the Hoosiers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Boy, they're 12-9 now. No offense at all in that Rutgers game.
I tell you what, I got 4 years of eligibility left. I could throw one in, guaranteed.
And it doesn't get any easier. They're traveling to East Lansing Saturday.
Be ugly.
Fans.
I'll take Michigan State.
First free throw by Ruggles is good. Give him 1 more.
He's had a great game tonight.
Ruggles' second free throw also good. He's a good free throw shooter too.
I have no idea what he is during the season, but he's had a great game tonight.
5 of 7 at the line for Ruggles from the free throw line. And 20 points overall for the junior. Yeah, he's had a big night tonight. 54-41. We're under the 2-minute mark now. Hatchet's in control with the ball. Trey Reed to Niehaus. They kick it out to Browning. Minute 45 to go. Niehaus to Tyson Wright. Now to Browning. Washington spreading the floor. Hatchet fans begin to cheer. Reach-in foul from behind called against Vincennes. That's Emmanuel Smith, who was checked into the lineup.
Great effort tonight. Tough loss for the Hatchets in the last ball game out, but they came back tonight focused and ready to play in this Big 8 conference game. Done a nice job. 13-point lead. Mann's free throws up and good.
Kyle Mann will shoot 1 more.
Perfect from the line. I'm not going to jinx him because I know he can shoot the basketball, Dwayne. He's going to knock down this next one. 14-point lead with 1:32 to go. Kyle Mann's next free throw shot is up and automatic.
Mann is perfect from the line, as Kyle mentioned. He's got 10 points now off the bench.
Great effort by the Hatchets tonight.
56-41. Minute 25 left. There's a foul against Washington. Vincennes now in the bonus. So Brody Ruggles will shoot the 1 in bonus.
Rob Blackwell told me he thought a double-digit victory for the Hatchets tonight. Right now they're up by 15 with 1:26 to go.
He had a premonition, huh?
I'll give him props.
Tonight's game brought to you by Crane Credit Union. Banking on a Hatchet victory as the first free throw from Ruggles goes in. He'll get the bonus. Also brought to you by Tim Dant, Social Security Disability Attorney from the law office of Hayes and Dant in Washington. Second free throw, also good for Brody Ruggles. As Evan Combs re-enters now, and Emmanuel Smith returns for Vincennes. 56-43, 13-point Hatchet lead. Minute 25 remaining. Full court pressure now by Vincennes. Tyson Wright gets it over to Browning and out of trouble. Now it's back to Tyson. And a foul sends Tyson Wright to the line to shoot 2. Washington looking to go 4-1 in the Big 8 Conference with 1 more conference game remaining. That'll be Mount Carmel. Overall, they'll improve to 12-5 if they can hold on here tonight. First free throw is good by Tyson Wright. He's got 1 more. Our next broadcast, fans, is coming up Saturday afternoon, Kyle. I don't know if you're aware of this one. The Hatchets will make up their game with Pike Central Saturday afternoon. 3 o'clock varsity tip-off. We'll be on the air at 2:45 from Pike Central this Saturday here on Memories 107.9. A long 3 by Ruggles off the mark. Rebound to Washington. Now it's just a matter of that final minute ticking away. Hatchet's playing keep away. And a foul against Bushy is going to send Trey Reed to the line. So, yeah, don't forget Hatchet basketball Saturday afternoon due to the girls' sectional tournament this week. And be sure to head to Vincennes tomorrow night to root on Gretchen Miles and the Lady Hatchets. They got a big game tomorrow with the Vincennes Atlases in the semifinals of the girls 3A sectional. First game, 6 o'clock tip-off. We're on the air about 5:45 tomorrow night here on Memories 107.9.
I wish nothing but the best for the girls. Gretchen.
Trey Reed 1 for 2 at the line as he hit the first one, and the second free throw attempt was in and out. A long three by Gillis off the mark. The rebound controlled by Isaac Lane, and it's good for 2. And now Coach Brett takes a timeout. On the A&R Home Center scoreboard, Washington 59, welcome back to the Hatchet House. Again, Washington looking to improve to 12-5. They're in the driver's seat right now, leading 59-45 on the A&R Home Center scoreboard against the Vincennes Atlases. That'll put the Hatchets at 4-1 in the conference. Drops Vincennes to 8-11 on the season, 2-3 in conference play. Full court pressure by Vincennes. Washington gets it into Tyson Wright. Tyson dribbles across the timeline, hands off to Niehaus. Grant back to Tyson, and a foul called on Combs. 35 seconds left. So Tyson Wright has a couple more free throws coming. Post-game report coming up, presented by Sterling & Company, Professional Corporation, on Main Street in downtown Washington. We'll have the Freddie Energy, high-energy player of the game. Also the Bill Dobson Ford Tough player of the game. And our overall MVP from Annalou Chapman, your RE/MAX real estate advisor, and Heller's Lawn Pro and Heller's Unlimited. That's all coming up on the Hatchet postgame. First free throw from Tyson Wright is no good. He'll shoot the second one, and it's good. 1 for 2 at the line for Wright. As another sub comes in, Raquan Haslip checking in now for the Alices. Hatchet's going to get the victory in front of the home crowd tonight. Ruggles gets one up, and boy, I tell you what, Brody Ruggles, what a night for this guy. He has shot lights out. And now they foul Trey Reed, so Trey's going to shoot 2 free throws.
Great job by the Hatchets tonight. It's going to be a great victory over the oldest rivalry in the state of Indiana.
I just want to hear you say rivalry one more time.
I can't say it.
You can't get that word out tonight.
It struggles. Struggle with my R's.
19 seconds left. The first free throw from Trey Reed is good. He's going to shoot one more. The sophomore Trey Reed has played a great game tonight.
Why you got to say that? Thought you were my friend.
I wasn't going to, but the last one just got me. Second free throw is up and in. He's good for both of them. And now a 30-second timeout.
Is it necessary?
For Coach Miller. He's going to get his subs in. Coach Miller wants to get the subs in for the final 19 seconds.
I'll give him that. Great job by the Hatchets tonight.
Absolutely. Again, 62-47.
I'm still struggling with you.
I'll let it go now, Kyle. I'm sorry. Fans, he really can get the word out. I apologize.
I won't sleep tonight. Everybody's worried about me.
Are you going Saturday? Did you get the memo about the Saturday afternoon game?
What is Saturday?
We play Pike Central on the road. 3 o'clock tip-off on the air at 2:45. Makeup game
This Saturday?
this Saturday, like in 2 days.
You may be on your own.
Vincennes with the ball as the shot is attempted by Ruggles, rejected, out of bounds. Staying with the Alice's with 4.9 seconds remaining.
You know, I got third grade girls basketball.
That's true.
Pretty important.
Shot up from Vincennes, well short. Put back at the buzzer, that is good. But too little, too late as Noah Bushy hits the final shot for Vincennes, and the Hatchets get the win. Final score on the A&R Home Center scoreboard: Washington 62, the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's 49. Hatchets improved to 12-5 on the season, 4-1 in Big 8 conference play. We'll be back with the Hatchet post-game report after this 2-minute timeout on WAMW. Back at the Hatchet House, the post-game report tonight brought to you by Sterling & Company Professional Corporation, located on Main Street, downtown Washington. The Hatchets get the Big 8 Conference win in front of the home crowd tonight, defeating the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's. Final score on the A&R Home Center scoreboard: Washington 62, Vincennes 49. Individual scoring first for the Hatchets. 4 players posting double digits again tonight, led by Tyson Wright with 14 points. Right behind, Trey Reed, the sophomore, had 13. 10 points off the bench for Kyle Mann. What a big night for the junior. And also 10 points for Bryce Browning. 9 points for Grant Niehaus. 4 points for Julius Hardiman. And 2 for Hunter Killian. 14 for Tyson Wright, 13 for Trey Reed, and 10 apiece for Kyle Mann and Bryce Browning, leading the way with a Hatchet offense. For Vincennes Lincoln, it was Brody Ruggles. He had the huge night tonight, leading all scorers with 24 points. Ruggles with 24. Isaac Lane chipped in 10, also with double figures. Ethan Bushy had 7. 6 points for Torrance Gillis. And that final shot for 2 at the buzzer from Noah Bushy. But again, Ruggles led all scorers tonight, 24 of the 49 points for the Alice's. Washington trailed 12-8 at the end of the first quarter. We were all tied at 22 at the half. After 3 periods, it was 34-32 in favor of the Hatchets, and Washington pulled away in the fourth quarter to get the victory, 62-49. Team stats, Kyle Cornelius.
Not ready.
All right, we'll come back to get those team stats right after this quick timeout. You're listening to Hatchet Basketball on WAMW. Hatchets get the win tonight. A nice Big 8 conference victory at home. 62-49 our final. Coach Gene Miller making his way up to press row to give us his comments after this big win in front of his former team. Coach Miller coached at Vincennes for several years before coming to take over the Hatchet program. Again, a good team effort by the Hatchets as 4 players posting double digits again tonight. 5 players had double digits in the last game for Washington. Coach Miller, I tell you what, a good night for your Hatchets. Again, balanced scoring. They did what they had to do. Vincent stayed with us in that first half, but Washington came on strong in the second half. Your full court pressure really gave the Alice's a lot of trouble tonight.
Yeah, the pressure changed the game. That's for sure. You know, they had controlled the tempo of the game, slowed the game down, worked the ball very methodically offensively, and kind of took the crowd out of the game and kind of took us, slowed us down, and second half we decided to come after them and got them to take some hurried shots, some quick shots in their offense instead of slowing it down and kind of speeded up the game. We got some turnovers. That one little spurt there where they turned it over like 3 times in a row, kind of broke the game wide open. So yeah, our defense came alive in the second half and created some big scoring opportunities for us.
I'd like to highlight Kyle Mann off the bench, 10 points.
Absolutely. Kyle came in and, from the second quarter when he came in, scored 4 quick points and made a big steal and did some things help us get things going offensively. And second half continued to play well when he got back in the ball game. I thought Kyle played a very good ball game for us. And like you say, we had 4 guys in double figures and another guy with 9. So we had good balance again. And as I said, that's what we got to have in order to be a good basketball team. We got to get everybody contributing.
It was great to see your team regroup after that tough loss to Southridge, too. They came out and played hard, inspired ball tonight in front of the home crowd.
Well, we did, and now it's a nice road trip. The next 4 ball games are on the road.
Thanks for reminding us of that.
Yeah, we go to Pike Central on Saturday, and then next Friday Bloomfield, and then we go to Mount Carmel for a very big conference game, and then South Knox before getting to come home and play the last basketball game here against Evansville Memorial. So, but we're just taking one game at a time, and that's Pike Central Saturday afternoon, JV game starting at 1:30 and the varsity at 3.
Can we ask Kyle if he can say rivalry for us real quick on the air just one time?
I struggled with the R.
Yeah,
I've had all kinds of people telling me, so it's all right. As long as we got to win, I don't care.
That's right. It doesn't matter what you call it, does it? As long as you win.
And credit you, Coach, bringing that out second half. Great job by coming out with that pressure. Like you said, really just created. Vincent really was just content with throwing the ball around and kind of relaxing and keeping the game close. You came out with the second half adjusted, really put the pressure on them, and it was never a ball game after that. And credit to your kids and also you as a coach, knowing what you needed to do, and it was great to see the second half.
Yeah, second half was great. The kids came out with some, they came out and played hard, got after it, forced the turnovers. I said, we went to a little smaller lineup and but I thought they did a really good job of coming out and being aggressive and getting in some passing lanes and creating the turnovers.
Let's take Pike Central Saturday and keep this train rolling, Coach. We'll see you at Pike Central Saturday afternoon.
All right, thank you very much, Dwayne.
Big win for Coach Miller and the Hatchets tonight, defeating Vincennes Lincoln 62-49. We'll be back to wrap it up from the Hatchet House after this on WAMW. Back to wrap it up here at the Hatchet House. Again, a Big 8 conference win for Washington. Final score on the A&R Home Center scoreboard, the Hatchet 62, Vincennes Lincoln 49, Washington 12-5, now 4-1 in the conference. Don't forget, fans, we got a makeup game Saturday afternoon at Pike Central. That's going to be a 3 o'clock tip-off on the air about 2:45 Saturday here on Memories 107.9. Our only thing left is to hand out the post-game awards. We're going to start first with the Freddie Energy High Energy Player of the Game, brought to you by Freddie Energy, fueling your everyday life.
No doubt about it. Kyle Mann off the bench. Great
Huge
ball game by him. Love to see it. Great job by him. Kyle Mann, no doubt about it. High Energy Player of the Game really gave us a spark starting in that probably second quarter into the second half. Like I said, Coach Miller mentioned him in the postgame conference as well. Just a great job by him.
High energy, definitely Kyle Mann tonight. 10 points off the bench and brought a lot of spark to the Hatchets on the floor. Up next, the Bill Dobson Ford Tough Player of the Game from Bill Dobson Ford. A Dobson deal is a better deal.
Go with Trey Reed tonight. Sophomore overall. Just a great ball game by him. Steady. Nothing flashy by any means, but he's just going to do the little things it takes. And very well deserving tonight. Trey Reed's going to be your tough player of the game tonight.
Hands down, 13 points, the second leading scorer for Washington. Had a fine night tonight. Did well from the free throw line, too, hitting 5 for 6 from the charity stripe. Congratulations to Trey Reed, our Bill Dobson Ford Tough player of the game. Finally, the overall MVP brought to you by Annalu Chapman, your RE/MAX real estate agent in Washington. And Heller's Lawn Pro and Heller's Unlimited. The MVP honors, Kyle, will go to?
I'll tell you what, let's go with our point guard tonight. Senior point guard, Tyson Wright. Just each and every night, this kid just comes to play, does the things it takes to win the basketball game, whether he scores points, whether he doesn't. He is a key to our team each and every night, and I think he's very deserving tonight. Going to be the player of the game. Just a nice ball game by him. Proud of him. Coming off a tough win or tough loss the other night. Coming back tonight, doing what a senior should. Lead this team in a conference victory, and we still have a shot at this conference. At least a share of it. If Princeton can take care of Jasper whenever they play, we could have a share of the conference title. And tonight was just a step in that direction, taking care of business. We got one more conference game against Mount Carmel, I believe, if that's correct, Dwayne.
Yes.
And if we take care of business there, we at least have a chance to make, a tie at the conference. And Tyson Wright tonight, nice job by him. Proud of him. Going to be your player of the game.
We need a little help from the Princeton Tigers if they can take Jasper.
I've never been a fan of Princeton, but I may be for one night.
We'll root for them.
That's
will
right.
root for them. Washington won the JV game tonight 68-40, and they complete the sweep with a nice varsity win in this Big 8 conference battle, 62-49. Hatchets improved to 12-5, 4-1 in the conference. Vincennes Lincoln drops to 8-11, now 2-3 in Big 8 play. For Kyle Cornelius and tonight's studio producer Jake Foster back at home base, this is Dwayne Shake saying good night, so long from the Hatchet House.